A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly a pleasure to welcome all of you this evening to the evening session and the cocktail reception of SITREK Cyber and Tech Summit 2026, the final stretch and the highlight of this summit. Now, before we continue with the evening's proceedings, let us take a brief look at the remarkable journey of SITREK Group, a story of innovation, resilience, and growth. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screens as we take a look at the SITREK journey.
In 1977, a small security company was formed, comprising of 8 security guards. With a clear vision to become a pioneer in security solutions, the business grew in leaps and bounds. Headquartered in Colombo, the company branched out into 4 subsidiaries and grew its presence with an island-wide network of 12 branches and 45 hubs. SITREK is Sri Lanka's market leader in manpower security solutions, home nursing and swift care, secure logistics and cash management, and a leader in electronic security, technology, consultancy, and courier services. Setting the bar as the most dependable and reliable commercial security company in Sri Lanka, we are the security partner of choice for major financial institutions, shopping malls, international hotel chains, diplomatic missions, and many more. We offer the full range of security needs for private and commercial purposes. SITREK provides an integrated approach to security with solutions for residential and commercial applications that are tailored for homes and various building configurations. And in the field of home nursing and swift care, SITREK brings decades of experience to offer temporary and long-term care into homes and offices. The most experienced caregivers follow ongoing training to deliver world-class services and timely attention. With the latest in innovation and procedures, we have built a reputation for ourselves for trust, speed, reliability, and dependability in cash management, secure transport, and last-mile delivery. Our people are our most valuable asset. They are the backbone of our service offerings, consisting of ex-elite forces and officers, as well as experienced professionals. They are further equipped with the knowledge and technical training to take care of all your requirements. And as we continue to move forward, we have branched out into new areas such as education, property rental and buying services, and AC solutions. Leveraging our industry experience and cutting-edge technology assists to provide our clients the confidence in knowing that their world is safe and secure. SITREK Group, protecting your world.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe after all of you witnessed the screen, a special introduction to SITREK is not necessary from my end. However, allow me a little to speak about the SITREK Group. SITREK was formed in 1977, and our late chairman, his vision and mission over the years have made SITREK into diversified conglomerate employing over 10,000 staff across diverse sectors island-wide. Our former chairman was driven by a simple yet powerful belief that we must always strive to be the best at what we do and leave every industry stronger than we found it. His vision was never just about growth, but about purpose and meaningful impact. Today, we honor that legacy by embracing innovation, investing in technology, and building partnerships that reflect who we are across security, secure logistics, healthcare, and beyond. This event, this evening, is a reflection of that journey. A reminder that SITREK is not just growing a business, but carrying forward a vision. Now, before we begin today's session, it is my pleasure to introduce the co-chairman of SITREK Group, Mr. Jeevaka Vijay Singha. Now, as the co-chairman, Mr. Jeevaka Vijay Singha has been instrumental in driving the company's vision and strengthening its presence across security, technology, secure logistics, healthcare, and even education. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming the co-chairman of SITREK Group, Mr. Jeevaka Vijay Singha.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. I actually wrote a very formal speech to address you all, but there was something that happened yesterday in the middle of our workshop. So this started off yesterday with a 2-day workshop catering to the Triforces, banking, finance, a few corporates in the morning. In the middle of one of our workshops yesterday, I had a colleague of mine rush in saying there's a call, you need to answer it now. So I took my phone out and it was a WhatsApp call that I was getting. The person on the other end of that WhatsApp call was a very prominent sitting minister in the present government. So as anyone would assume, I was excited and nervous at the same time. I also had to answer the phone, so I ran out. I answered the phone. And as I've seen him speak on TV, his voice was very real. It was him, pretty much, on the other end of that line. I had a brief introduction to he gave me a brief introduction. He knew a lot about myself. He knew a lot about our organization. He knew that we also had made a contribution to the Rebuild Sri Lanka Fund post the Ditva cyclone, and he knew other few details as well. And then after mentioning that, he went on to ask me that they're running another campaign for kids in those affected areas to donate school books. So he said there are about 100 or 200 kids. The budget is around 3,000 per book pack. Are you all able to contribute to this cause? So of course, as an organization that always strives to look after and support our nation in any way possible, I immediately said yes. And I told him, sir, these are my details. He asked me for my designation, the address of the company. I said, please formally write. You can email it or WhatsApp it to me. And he did. About half an hour later, I got an attachment with on a ministry letterhead. It looked a bit off. At first glance, it looked authentic, but as I looked into it further and started reading the contents of it, it was a bit off. And at the bottom, there was a commercial bank account number with a random person's name. So I quickly passed this to someone who we know who is in the government, and I mentioned this to him, and the first thing he said was, please don't. Firstly, none of us would call you to ask for funds. But what I'm trying to say is these threats are real. It's out there. It's very ironic that I got this call in the middle of a cybersecurity conference and workshop. Whoever the person was on the other side, either it was AI or it was a very good impersonator. Soon after, he deleted the letter off the WhatsApp chat. But what I'm trying to say is that these threats are here, the threats are out there. There are very smart people who are skilled in the area of scams, cyber, trying to infiltrate the internet ecosystems that we personally use, as well as our organizations, and this can be severely disruptive. So with that, I feel like it's a good time that I would also like to formally announce that we have signed a partnership with ST Engineering Singapore. They're one of the leading cybersecurity providers in Singapore and the rest of the world. Most of their team is here, so you're going to hear from their president, Mr. Enchun. We've been having a lot of fruitful conversations the past few days, having very detailed workshops. So the reason that SITREK is getting into cybersecurity is because it's a natural extension to our service offering. We're into physical security, we're into healthcare, we do cash transport, as you saw. So cybersecurity is something that we have always wanted to move into, and I'm very proud and honored to start this journey with ST Engineering. I just want to take this moment also to thank Mr. Enchun, Ms. Ann, the rest of the team that made their way to Sri Lanka despite all the things that are happening around the world. Thank you guys for being here. I know the conversation is going to be good. Mr. Enchun is going to share some details of what's happening in the cyber world. We also have a lot of booths outside. You can have a one-on-one chat with them, as well as the SITREK booth that offers new and various forms of electronic security. So I'm not going to take too much time. Have a good evening, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman, for setting a very strong strategic foundation for today's discussions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at SITREK, security has always been more than manpower. It's about supporting people on the ground with the right tools. Today, we are pleased to introduce a solution developed to complement and strengthen SITREK's manpower security operations. This marks an important step in how SITREK continues to evolve its security operations responsibly, progressively, and with our clients' need at the center. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we officially launch SITREK.
Hello again. It gives me great pleasure to formally announce that we have launched a new software, a security and facility management software called SITREK. It's meant to complement our security officers. So when we deploy a security officer moving forward, they will come in with this software. It has elements such as visitor management, car park management, incident reporting, and event room booking or meeting room booking. So the plan with this is to eliminate all the DOBs, the paperwork that our security guards currently maintain. Most of our units, we have one book for incidences, one book for visitor management, one book for the daily things, the daily occurrences that happen. But this is just the initial step. The plan for SITREK is for it to be a fully integrated system that you can plug in your CCTV cameras, your access control in your offices. You can plug in your meeting rooms, book your calendar appointments, and so on. So for the moment, the three elements are visitor management, car park management, and incident reporting. But we will add on the other features as we move forward. But this is also another element of value addition that we want to offer all our customers. So it'll come free of charge for the next couple of years until we add on features such as plugging in your cameras and your electronic security ecosystem. So it'll be like a mini command center which you can plug in and integrate all your systems into one platform. So just want to introduce Sidekick to you all. Officially, from today, it'll be actively deployed in most of our units with your permission and our customers' permissions, of course. We have more info at our booth. Krishna is there to answer any questions. So please go have a look once the event is done. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Can we have another big round of applause for Sidekick? Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker represents the future of Sri Lankan innovation in robotics and artificial intelligence. But before I formally invite him on stage, let's see what his organization has to offer. This is Scouts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give another big round of applause for Scouts. Scouts is a homegrown startup pushing the boundaries of autonomous technology, delivering fully automated drone solutions in partnership with SITREK Security Solutions. Now, from enterprise-grade security deployments to supporting Colombo Police in emergency response and contributing to environmental conservation efforts, Scouts is transforming how technology enhances safety and operational efficiency. Presenting today is the co-founder and CEO of Scouts, Mr. Kalana Muthumuni. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
Hello. Hope all of you are having a very good evening. My name is Kalana from Scouts. How do you protect your properties today? So you might have a security guard protecting the perimeter, and you might have CCTV cameras and motion detectors that are usually monitored by a team of security personnel. And you might even have AI detection software that can provide you alerts on real time. What if we put all three of these in one? A patrolling guard, CCTV and motion detectors, and AI for threat identification. Introducing Scouts, automated drones for perimeter patrolling. With Scouts, we have three main functions that we are releasing with our first version, which is automated drone patrolling, night vision through thermal and infrared cameras, and our proprietary AI for threat identification. When it comes to our automated patrolling feature, the main difference that we are bringing you, apart from being extremely cost effective, is that you don't really need to train anybody to pilot these drones. The automated guidance system will navigate the drone carefully through your perimeter. And most importantly, right now, if you are patrolling your perimeter, that is probably around every few hours, every 2 hours, 3 hours. But with our solution, we can cut it down to even every 15 minutes. With our thermal and infrared camera setup, we can detect threats that the naked eye can possibly miss. And this significantly increases your security. And our AI system can identify fires, open gates, and even unauthorized access at this time. And we are adding a lot more features as we go on. When it comes to your existing CCTV infrastructure, we can connect with them, use them as triggers, send the drone very quickly to those locations, and make them more effective and active in your security, in providing you security. We can easily double the frequency of patrolling. We can initiate a response in under 30 seconds, and we are operational 24/7. This is a sneak peek of what the interface would look like. This will sit right next to your existing CCTV mission control center. And in a few clicks, you can send the drone in a preset route, make it stop, look around, and return to home. And the entire interface is intuitive and very easy to use. We are rolling out a list of features, and including aerial inspection using drones. So when it comes to solar farms, wind farms, and high-rise buildings, you can use our drone for inspecting for errors and possible cracks and things that would require a lot of human efforts traditionally. We have 2 other drones that are in development as well. We have a helium-powered drone that will be used for environmental conservation, and a fixed-wing VTOL that has an extended range that can be used for coastal patrolling. We have some amazing partners, including SITREK, that has joined in our journey. We have a research partnership with University of Moratuwa, and we have a few clients like Fairway and CCR that has already signed up. We are also working on a use case for public safety, and we have an early warning system for elephant railway collisions coming up very soon. We are a homegrown startup that is bringing you world-class protection at a fraction of the cost. So if you are interested, please visit us outside in our stall. We are having a limited rollout for this year, and we'll give you some exclusive discounts that is on behalf of the launch event that we are providing today. This is the first time that we are rolling out this drone into the market. So very interested to hear your thoughts and start working with you. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muthumani. I'm sure all of you have been enlightened on what Scouts has to offer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to ask you to pay your attention to the screen once again, as we are going to take a look at the corporate video of ST Engineering.
Today's modern world is empowered by AI, autonomous vehicles, cryptography, cloud, blockchain, drones, and more. The myriad of high technological advancements enhances not only the efficiency of mega infrastructures, but also our daily lives. What many do not know is the Achilles heel that destroys the modern world is intangible. It's the dynamic nature of cyber attacks. Here at ST Engineering, we believe keeping the environment cyber safe is key to the modern world's sustainability. We begin with securing your information while working from home, without the need to telecommute or be present in the office. Protecting the systems in critical infrastructures. Preventing tanker from cyber threats, causing an oil spill in the ocean that destroy the environmental ecosystem. Autonomous vehicles and airplanes from accidents that threaten our lives. These systems and networks are monitored by our groundbreaking Cybersecurity Operations Center, that adopts a preemptive and proactive cybersecurity strategy to provide actionable insights for C-suites and analysts to make informed decisions to combat the cyber attacks. Our extensive cybersecurity capabilities suite is engineered and powered by our deep cybersecurity expertise in operation, training, and research and development. Here at ST Engineering, the key is our people. Together, we secure what matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for ST Engineering. And with that, we step into yet another significant moment in this evening's program. The formalization of a partnership through a symbolical exchange of a memorandum of collaboration between the SITREK Group and ST Engineering Singapore that was signed just yesterday. Now, this collaboration represents a shared commitment to innovation, knowledge exchange, and the pursuit of technological excellence. It marks the beginning of a strategic partnership that will undoubtedly open new doors for growth and collaboration. To proceed with this important moment, may I kindly invite the heads of the two organizations to join us on stage. Mr. Jivaka Vijayasinghe, co-chairman of SITREK Group, as well as Mr. Goen Chung, the president of Cyber Business, ST Engineering. Let's give them a big round of applause. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed with the formal handover of the signed folders, symbolizing the shared commitment and partnership between the two organizations. How about we congratulate both organizations on this milestone partnership. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker for this summit. Mr. Goen Chung, who was just on stage, is the president of the cyber business area at ST Engineering, a globally recognized leader in technology, defense, and engineering solutions. He has led major global initiatives in building and operating advanced security operations centers for governments, critical infrastructure, and enterprises worldwide, while driving innovation in quantum cryptography, 5G security, cloud security, and AI-enhanced cyber solutions. With a distinguished background that includes leadership in the Singapore Armed Forces and strategic roles across industry and advisory councils, Mr. Go brings deep expertise at the highest levels of national and enterprise cyber security. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Mr. Goen Chung.
Ayubowan. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, fellow CISOs, I think there are some of you here, government and business leader, very good evening. Now, first, I want to give a big thank you and also congratulations to SITREK for a successful event over the past 2 days. And then for us, ST Engineering from Singapore, to send a delegation of 11 people to come down to join this event. And really, I think the guys are enjoying themselves. Yeah. And I particularly really feel that these 2 days is really engaging, and I feel very comforted and at the same time exciting for the future that we are heading together. on this journey in cybersecurity. So in the earlier program, it's about 1 hour for me to stand here, but I'm not going to take that long. But I want to keep this session a little bit more engaging. So please feel free to participate as I go along. Okay, so today is actually 2 days after we celebrate. Singapore is a multiracial country, and then we just celebrated our Chinese New Year. So it's 2 days after our Chinese New Year, and I thought maybe it's appropriate for me to wish everyone in the new year of the Fire Horse Zodiac for the Chinese New Year a healthy, prosperous, and fulfilling 2026. And for those running operation, a peaceful and smooth year ahead, especially what's going on around the world. And I'm particularly, yesterday news took me with a lot of pride that Sri Lanka went out there and saved the Iranian ship, the troops or the sailors from the Iranian ship, and bring back to shore as fast as possible to save them, regardless of who they are. I'm sure if it's the American ship, you will do the same. So I'm particularly proud, and you should be proud about what the country is doing and to keep peace, to make sure that the environment is a viable one, a peaceful one, and of course, it's good for all of us. Now, the fire horse represents speed, fire represents a lot of vitality, but before some of you think that I'm some astrologist or feng shui master, I'll just move on. Why I mentioned Chinese New Year? Now, I joined ST Engineering about 15 years ago. In fact, this month is my 15th anniversary in the company. But before that, I spent about 24 years in the military. And then after that, of course, I did a small 3 to 4 years in the startup, and then 15 years in ST Engineering. When I joined ST Engineering, something really interesting happened. They asked me to lead the cybersecurity, and they said that they didn't use cybersecurity at that point in time, they used the word info security. Right? Cybersecurity wasn't a term that was commonly used. And what's really interesting is that I didn't know that they actually, just a few weeks before I joined, they were under a massive attack. So a couple of things happened. I was wondering why they never tell me. Is it because they con me into the job, or they think that I'll run away if I hear that there is a big incident that actually happened? So there's a lot of exfiltration of data, and within there, because we are defense industry, about 2,000 very sensitive information has been stolen. So everybody is very concerned, and they are actually asking, you have to then figure out how did the attack happen, and who attacked us, and who stole the information. Now, with the technology available back then, we were not able to determine who is the one that attacked us. But surprisingly, with a bit of creativity, we actually did find out, or at least we think that we found out. Why? Because the exfiltration of the data stopped just on the eve of the Chinese New Year. And you know, Chinese New Year on the eve is family reunion. It's like Thanksgiving. So everybody have to gather together as a family and start eating. And then for the next 15 days, which is the 15 days of Chinese New Year, there's no activities. Immediately after the end of the 15 days, the activities start again. So I leave it to your imagination to tell me, to think about who actually attacked us and took the information. So they rest for 15 days. Now, because we are an engineering company and we handle a lot of mission critical system, so we kind of transform our thinking that, there are many technology out there, but more importantly is how do we focus on working with our client, and just like what our tagline say, to help the client to secure what matters. So I will just run through very quickly the journey since then, back in 2011 when I joined the company. After the attack and all this, by the way, the attack didn't happen then, and then nothing happened until now. We constantly are being attacked. ST Engineering has been in the news for cybersecurity attack quite often, not because we really lose anything, because we are a defense contractor, and our actual defense are very protected, And the only way to get information is through the defense contractor. So this is true for many other organizations as well. So a bit of our journey. After the attack, we started to take cybersecurity very seriously, and then we formed a team. And we actually grow the team, and we landed ourselves to build the first Singapore National Cybersecurity Center. And that is around 2012. And then after that, we have the opportunity to land ourselves a contract with Sri Lanka back in 2016 to be a consultant for your national SOC. So we did the design, we did the architecture, we sent our team here for about 3 months, and we built up the entire blueprint of your national SOC. But we could not continue to really grow or build the SOC because thereafter there's a lot of incident happened, right? The Easter bombing and followed by, COVID and so on and so forth. But I'm very glad that I got an email one day from Sri Lanka CERT saying that, Mr. Goh, based on the consultancy blueprint, we have successfully built the national SOC. And we were invited to visit yesterday, and I'm very proud that this thing happened. So after the 2016, after the national SOC, and we have our own SOC is Cybersecurity Operations Center. We have our own Cybersecurity Operations Center, and we have constantly under attack, as I mentioned. But I also find that every time when the attack happened, all the analysts, they're all staring in front, they have a lot of monitors, and they just froze. They are all trying to remember what they did. They have all the certificates, the CISSP, the ISC squared, the EC Council, but they froze. They do not know how to deal with the attack. So each and every one of them are operating like an individual, trying to recall what they learned in school, and then trying to react to it. So we felt that may not be the best way to run a cybersecurity operations center. And that's why we started in 2014, we started a cybersecurity academy. But this is not a normal academy, it's not classroom. So we put in a cyber range, we run a cyber attack, and then we train how the analysts can work together as a team. So that changes the way how you deal with the cybersecurity incident. And going beyond that, we also realized that, I'm sure all of you realize that cybersecurity is always talking about technology, new technology coming up every 6 to 18 months. The threat is also changing, and every now and then it's changing so quickly that a lot of people are kind of like giving up. Like how much do we need to do in order to protect ourselves? So we decided that we have to build our own capability, and we had our first R&D center back in 2016. So these are all the journey that we have taken. But along the way, we also kind of realized that just focusing on detection and response is not good enough. You need to build hardware. We need to move upstream and get into the protection. So for the past 2 days, my team has been really looking into how the hardware that we built can help you to protect organizations like the government, the banks, financial sector, healthcare, and so on and so forth. And then with 25 SOC built, we already have a lot of technology stack that we can actually offer in Sri Lanka to help, to augment the capability that if you want to actually protect your organization. So I will now paint a little bit of the future and what are the trends that we will see in the coming years. I'm sure some of you already know that, because we are kind of entering into a new phase of risk, and it's driven by the conversion of course, no price for guessing, artificial intelligence, cloud adoption, and the emerging reality of the quantum computing. Now these forces are transforming how we operate, but they are also redefining what it means to be resilient as a business, as a government, as an organization. So first, and the most popular trend, artificial intelligence. Now, a lot of people see it as a force multiplier, but just think about it, it's a force multiplier on both sides of the coin. Okay, so how many of you think that the attacker are already scaling the operation using AI? How many of you think that? Can I have a show of hands? So some of you still think that the attacker are behind, but most of you, some of you are already thinking that attacker is using AI, and that's true. So AI is being used to automate reconnaissance, generate highly convincing phishing content. So even the phishing email, all these are generated very quickly. Just now we talked about scam, fake. These are all the deep fake capability that pretend to be somebody else. So even in Singapore, our Prime Minister has a deep fake on selling crypto investment. So that is happening all the time. Then of course, the AI is also used to evade traditional detection. So it's pretty smart. It's not like human can make mistake and then operate continuously at the machine speed. So with AI, do you think that they will stop during Chinese New Year for 15 days? No, right? So it will be harder and harder to even pick up signature as to who the attacker is. And because of AI, it kind of like dramatically lower the barrier entry to be an attacker. So in the past 2 days, my team has even shown example of website where you can just go in there, pay the Bitcoin, and then generate capability to do attack. So capability that once required highly skilled team are now accessible to mid-tier threat actors and cyber criminal groups. Now the attacks are faster now, more targeted, and harder to distinguish from the legitimate activities. So for all of us, I think this means that defender can no longer rely on static rules and manual processes. You heard every technology's vendor come to you and say we have a series of playbooks. There are playbooks for this, playbook for that, and actually to me, the vendors are actually telling you that these are all paybook. Okay, you pay to get the playbook. Now, cybersecurity is a very serious business. It's not a play business. So it's important that we look at it from the operational procedure, mission critical planning and strategy. It's not so much of a playbook. I know this is a term that they use, but I kind of don't like that word. The question is no longer whether AI changes cybersecurity. It already has. So how about defender? What do we need to do? Now, if the attacker uses AI, the defender must do the same. And these 2 days we are sharing how we as a defender are using AI to really help the defender to fight against attackers who are already using AI. I think this is something very important. And at the same time, AI will help us and help the security team detect anomalies earlier, correlate signals across complex environment, automate response, and reduce time to containment. But AI in cyber defense is not just go ahead and deploy it quickly, but it has to be deployed responsibly. The model that we use must be tested, validated, and then there must be governance over it, at the same time monitored continuously. And I'll explain the reason why. So for defender, this is about balancing speed with trust. And for government and business leader like us, it's about investing in AI that reduces risk, not create the risk. Because if you do not know how to use the AI properly, you actually generate more risk because your gut come down thinking that the AI can do its job. Now there's another shift that we must confront, is that AI systems themselves are also becoming attack surfaces. Okay, so AI model can be poisoned. The model, they can be poisoned to give you wrong input, output, manipulated, misled, or exploit to leak sensitive data. So one of the examples that we show is, although you put in a guardrail to tell the AI, and anybody asks you for a password, you must say no. You're not allowed. They're not authorized. So our attacker, our own white hacker, attack the AI model. So they keep asking, keep probing, is this, is it that? The AI is very smart. They said, no, I cannot tell you, until they change their technique. So our team actually asked, is the password 12345? Now the AI model is super friendly, very helpful. They said, no, you are wrong. The password is not 12345, but the password is this. Straight away, they got the password, and they can actually get into the AI model and corrupt it. So even the AI is now being attacked, and which is why, as we are implementing AI, like agentic AI SOC that we talk about, we are also doing AI war game, cyber range, that can validate and test the AI. And the last thing that we actually add in is a secure AI capability to secure the AI. So all these three come together as a total ecosystem. So as we embed AI in operation, cybersecurity must evolve to protect the AI pipeline, like the data, like the model, and the inference environment. Now, protecting AI is therefore about protecting decision quality, operational integrity, and competitiveness advantage. Now, the second trend is cloud. Can I have a show of hand? How many of your organization already got into the cloud? Yeah, so quite a few. So now, over the last decade, I think organizations move most of their core workload, customer data, financial system, and operational platform into the cloud, right? So it's obvious, speed, scale, but it also gives new exposure to risk. So the benefit, no doubt, undeniable, speed to market, scalability, access to advanced capability like AI, but cloud fundamentally changes in the security equation. So let me explain. The traditional perimeter disappeared. Cloud there's no perimeter. You don't build entry point, and then after that followed by firewall, maybe a DMZ, and then so on and so forth. So you're operating on a 2D kind of a platform. But once you get into the cloud, it's almost like you enter into space. You can come from the top, you can come from the bottom, you can come from... So the focus of the cybersecurity will be on identity management, access control, zero trust. But unfortunately, organizations also start to get into multi-cloud. But when you go into the multi-cloud, the attacker now becomes smarter. Once they get in, because of some leaked credential or whatever, or phishing email, they can then stand up asset. In the on-prem days, you have to literally build a server, you can't virtualize it. But in today's cloud world, when you're sleeping, they can stand up a cloud, they can do a connectivity that bypass the entire thing and pivot themselves from one cloud to the next cloud. So therefore, the security solution will be a totally different type of solution. We cannot take the traditional on-prem cybersecurity or security protection to then apply it to the cloud. Organizations need to have their own capability, maybe even solution or technology that can do their own threat hunting across not just one cloud, but multi-cloud. So these are things that I hope you all will think about it when you look at the cloud environment and when you want to apply security and not get fixated, because a lot of vendors are essentially just taking whatever they are doing, a firewall, and they virtualize it and they say, okay, this is how you protect our cloud. It may be useful, but just remember the cloud service provider always have a small print when you sign a contract with them. The security within the cloud is a shared responsibility. What do you mean by shared responsibility? You mean they share if you get hacked? No. The shared responsibility means I'm a cloud service provider. My responsibility is to protect whatever asset that I'm able to protect. You also, as a client, you also have a shared responsibility. If the thing gets leaked, if I find that it's because you lose your credential, the responsibility is not the cloud service provider, it's yours. So that's how they define cloud shared responsibility for security. So it's important when we use cloud, we must have our own capability that stand on the outside, managed by us to be able to do whatever security that is needed to protect the cloud environment. So that is probably the second thing I want to share with all of you. Now, the third one is very interesting, is this whole thing about supply chain attack. So, now one of the most damaging trend actually we see today, and over the 2 days, I think we also shared some of this, is that because large organizations have the resources and the funding to actually protect their cybersecurity, they have that kind of money, but to attack the large organization, they are now pivoting through your supplier, because the supplier are connected to you. Okay, so in Singapore, it just happened. So we have passionately classified attack group called the UNC 3886. No speculation where they come from. Is if you just Google, there's a lot of the Americans are more than happy to say that the 3886 is a phone number that came out of China. in Singapore, one of the CII was critical information infrastructure was hit by this attack group. But how the attack group get there is more interesting. It's getting there not directly, but it's through their supplier. And then as they investigate, they found that, wow, it's about 255 suppliers that support this particular critical information infrastructure that has the breach happening from the attacker. So the supply chain become the easiest way to get into a large organization. So, but fortunately for them, because of the cyber resilient capability within the country, so no or little damage was carried out, but then again, we cannot be sure. And I'm sure that we cannot let our laurel down and just think that everything is over just because you found them. There may be many more that we do not know. So I think this is something that we spoke about today. And the attackers are increasingly compromised their trusted vendors, managed securities providers, software updates. So there's another one is antivirus. Instead of attacking directly to the antivirus company, they attack the development house that is releasing the next patch. So the moment they attack, the next patch is automatically released. Now in your computer, usually the update you will set to automatic, right? You will not be one that will say that, okay, I will do manual update. So when you set to automatic update, so what happened is that when the patch was released, it suddenly broadcast to everybody that has the automatic update, and everyone got corrupted, got actually attacked. So I think these are things that is happening, and which is why we think that from a protection point of view, we decided to maybe move it to the hardware side of the house. So for the CISO, third-party risk management is no longer a compliant exercise, and for business leader, government, supplier, and cyber maturity is now a commercial and operational concern. Now, which is why we implemented an initiative to protect our SME with low-cost, low-touch solution that we call ITER, actually is outside, and we are bringing that capability here into Sri Lanka. Now, the other trend that is probably going to excite many of the people, especially in the financial sector and government, is quantum computing. Now, we know that the power of quantum computing is coming in the next 3, maybe even 5 years, 3 to 5 years. There are certain risks because of quantum computing. So, although AI is reshaping today's threat landscape, quantum computing will represent a future shock to the digital trust. So when quantum capability mature, they will be able to break cryptography protection that underpin transaction, communication, and intellectual properties. And the threat is not hypothetical. Okay, a lot of people are still saying that it's still out there but not there yet, but actually it's not true. Data stolen today can be decrypted tomorrow. So that's why now floating in the world is this terminology called harvest now, decrypt later. So your adversary, state actor, enemy, they will just download your data, even though it's encrypted, because they know that the moment quantum computer comes on board, they are able to then decrypt and identify and decrypt all your information, and the last 10 years, 20 years of your secret will then be exposed. So that is exactly what is happening now. So you hear terminology like PQC, QKD, I think these are all the capability that is to prevent attackers from storing the information to decrypt later. So a lot of organizations, especially like in Singapore, our central bank has given instruction to all the banks to start migrating all their data into quantum safe, using quantum safe encryptors. So instead of the traditional encryption, they are now migrating to either a PQC, which is more ready now, and then probably in time to come to become QKD, which is the quantum key distribution system. So these are things happening, and it's not going to be easy. Okay, nobody says it's going to be a switch. Just turn the switch, and then suddenly you are in another type of encryption. Because first you have to find out in the entire organization, how do you encrypt the information, where they are, and then systematically then migrate them. So when ST Engineering was asked to support the government to build the quantum safe encryption, which we launched last year, correspondingly, while we are doing that, we are also thinking, building another capability is how do you help organization to do the migration? First, look at the visibility what is happening in your organization, where are all your encrypted data. Then, where do you want to put in the priority to put in the quantum safe encryption? Then transfer maybe on the hybrid mode, transfer the data into quantum before you let go the original encryption. So that all this has to be done before the quantum computer comes about. So these are the things that we are waiting. So those who wait for certainty for things to happen will be very late by the time quantum computing comes, and they will be impacted. Now, we look at AI, and then we look at quantum computing. Now, these are the two transformative technology emerging today, if you understand that. Now, individually, they are powerful, but together, they create a new computational paradigm, often referred to as quantum AI. So at the national level, at country level, this conversion of AI and quantum will influence a couple of things. Okay, one, how fast you will then go into the quantum safe encryption migration. Two, the AI-driven cyber defense that I earlier mentioned. And three is quantum attack preparedness, how prepared you are to quantum attack. So they are using AI to help the development of quantum, to solve all the error correction and things like that. They are using quantum with AI to then speed up certain processes. So if it falls into the wrong hand, the attacker will become stronger, which is why even at the government level, in most countries, they are investing heavily in these two things, AI and quantum together. So, but what glue the trust? Because AI quantum, it can go either way. The thing that glue them together and build the trust is actually cybersecurity, which is why cybersecurity, AI and quantum is going to be a single strategic domain. You will see a trend that an organization will set up entity that will look into AI, quantum, at the same time cybersecurity. And this is going to happen very soon. So it is about resilience. It's no longer whether you'll be breached or you will not be breached. So they will assume that disruption will happen and the entire design will be for containment, recovery, and continuity. So this requires really cyber risk to be discussed at the leadership level, security investment aligned to the business critical function, scenario planning for AI misuse and systematic disruption, and clear accountability between technology and the business owner. So in kind of conclusion, I would say that cybersecurity, I think you heard this many times, is no longer played as a solo game, and the cybersecurity has moved from a single player game to a team sport play on the global field. So within the organization, it requires alignment between the CISO, the CIO, the business leader, and the board of directors. But across the industry, it requires intelligence sharing, coordinated response, and trusted partnership. And globally, it requires cooperation that matches the scale of the adversaries, because the adversaries are sharing. They are telling each other what happened. Even if they attack you, they will go to the deep web and tell the whole world how you're being attacked. So in one of the conversations we talked about, if you get a ransomware, do you pay or you not pay? Now the fact is, some people, our advice is not to pay, because it's not going to solve your problem. I'll give you one example. We have an incident where the company quietly go and pay. Of course, as a country, we have a rule to say that you don't pay, because if you pay, then if we found that you are not reporting your cyber attack, you'll be fined. But these guys went to pay. So the attacker are very honorable. Because you pay me, I will release the key back to you so that you can decrypt your information. But you guess what? They put in the deep web how they attack you. They tell them what's your password, where's your leak, which account they can use for other people to start attacking you for ransomware again. So it is not going to end the game if you just pay. It's best that you got to bite the bullet, do something about it, contain the damage, and move on. I think this is the kind of advice that we will give. So cybersecurity is no longer about stopping everything. It's about keeping the business and operation running when something goes wrong. So the conversion of cyber, AI, and quantum marks kind of a turning point for all of us. And the focus will not be on technology, but really is on leadership, which is all of you here, right? The organization that succeed will be those that integrate security into the business and operational strategy, decision making, and of course build the ecosystem. So a call to action for all of us is for leaders in government, in business leaders, just like you. The mandate is clear: treat cyber, AI, and quantum resilience as a leadership priority, because trust, growth, and continuity now depends on it. And with that, I will leave all of you with a thought. Every time you think about cyber, think about what matters to your organization. What matters to most of you, so that you can, as you talk to a cybersecurity practitioner or vendor or supplier to help you, you can tell them, please help me to secure what matters. So with that, thank you very much.
Mr. Goen Chung, thank you very much for that keynote speech. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we give him another big round of applause? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are slowly stepping into the conclusion of this beautiful evening. But before that, we have several individuals who are to be appreciated and acknowledged tonight for their contributions and for their continued support, enduring support in making SITREK Cyber and Tech Summit 2026 a beautiful, a great success. Their commitment, collaboration, and the encouragement have played a significant role in bringing this summit into life. So we would like to present several tokens of appreciation to these individuals, and for the first set of awards, for the first set of tokens, I would like to invite Ms. Minoli Vijay Singha, co-chairman of SITREK Group, on stage. Let's give her a big round of applause. The first token of appreciation, we would like to present it to Mr. Benjamin Go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the hype going, let's keep the applause running, because tonight on this stage, at this very moment, we are appreciating and acknowledging their contributions to making this beautiful evening and the past 2 days of a success of this Cyber and Tech Summit 2026. That is Mr. Benjamin Go. And next up, I'd like to invite Dr. Ivan Jacobs on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, I'd like to present this token of appreciation to Mr. Chua Shea. And we also have Mr. Victor Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with their support, their collaboration, and their commitment that this SITREK Cyber and Tech Summit 2026 was a success. Thank you very much, Ms. Minoli. And for the next set of tokens, I'd like to invite Major Ananda Rodrigo, CEO of SITREK Group, on stage. Let's give him a big round of applause. And ladies and gentlemen, we are starting the next set of tokens of appreciation with a very special guest. That is Mr. Goen Chung. Let's give him a big round of applause. He is our keynote speaker tonight, and he is also the president of the cyber business of ST Engineering. Next up, we have a token of appreciation going out to Mr. Jackie Lim. We would also like to extend a token of appreciation to Miss Mizan. Let's give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Last but not least, we have yet another beautiful lady who is going to receive another token of appreciation. Please give a big round of applause to Miss Cloris. Thank you very much, Major Rodrigo. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to bring us to the conclusion of this session of the SITREK Cyber and Tech Summit 2026. Thank you to our speakers for the valuable insights shared today. Thank you to all of you for your active participation. And we now invite you to visit our partner and exhibit stalls, engage in conversations, and continue the discussions in a more informal setting. And on behalf of SITREK Group and our partners, thank you very much for being a big part of the SITREK Cyber and Tech Summit 2026. Let's give a big round of applause. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to invite you to enjoy the cocktail reception after this. Thank you very much and have a good night.